Hey peeps, welcome back to Riven. In the last episode, we explored quite a bit of the islands in Riven. Mainly the temple and the village. This time, we're gonna go through those places again, but this time with a little bit of help. Special thanks to the site Mist Journeys for actually devoting a page to each of the Mist games. Now, the great part about Mist Journey is that, in particular, they can you could do a complete walkthrough. You can do just the puzzle solutions, so that we can just focus on the story, or you can go even more obscure than that and focus mainly on the hints. And I decided to go with the third camp. So in that way, there is some mystery that I can still work under, but not so much where I feel like I'm going to be stuck. So far, from what I can tell, it's only the first two islands we've been through, which is the Temple Island and the Jungle Island. Because we just came across the idol in the forest. So Temple Island. So I think the Temple Island is the one that we kind of have the most question marks about because of the dome. So let's see what hints we can find here. Strange device near the cage. The cage. I'm assuming it's the telescope. It's either the telescope or that chair. How does the rotating room work? That part we pretty much figured out, so that's pretty easy. How to get through the wooden gate. That one we figured out pretty easily in the second part. What do switch connected to the pipes do? We've done that. What to do in the large dome? When you enter, you'll see a lever on your left. Try it and nothing happens. That means you need to turn on power somewhere else before the lever will work. Notice there are 5 pipes leading to the center. The number 5 keeps showing up in Riven, doesn't it? So we've actually already fixed the lever. It lifts up and lowers the bridge. That's what we've already figured out. How do I open the large temple door? Does a large glowing object remind you of something you saw in the previous room? I'm assuming they mean that temple that we saw earlier with the stained glass, where if you come in a certain way, you'll see Gen's face. The marbles. Let's see. 5 colored marbles in the group represent the locations of the 5 marble domes and Wyvern's Islands. The mapped room on Plateau Island helps determine the exact location of each dome, and the survey room on Plateau Island helps determine the appropriate colors to use. We haven't gotten there yet. Then Jungle Island, this is what we came across here. What do I do with the idol in the forest? It's switching this area that will allow you to open the idol's mouth. And then let's see. So far, none of these other clues look familiar, but for now, I'm going to keep it spoiler-free, just for the sake of keeping things interesting. Okay? But yeah, let's go ahead and get into Riven based on that knowledge. So, from what we could tell, so this raises up the bridge. I think it's what that pipe that we fixed does. But it mentioned that guide mentioned that there was something about the idol. Wait, hold on. Okay, no, there wasn't something there. I had to double check. But yeah, there was something about the idol in the forest. There's a switch next to it. So let's go ahead and check that out. So let's go ahead and go there. Let's see what we find. So, very much like 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, the non-re game, Riven has a lot of things connected to the number 5. And I mean a lot of things connected to number 5. So, let's go up here. I think we need to go up. And yeah, I was around that fork. I think it was to the right of the fork. Yeah, right here. So apparently there's a switch here that we need to keep an eye out for. That opens up this. Let's see. Let's see. There's a switch that opens up the mouth. Oh! Wait! Oh! It was to that lamp. Okay. Up we go then. I don't know what the button's for, but... It's a good elevator, I guess. Okay. So that was the clue we needed. So, the switch was near the lamp. Yeah, you would not be able to tell if that was up there. So there's a spinning dome right here. Let's go across this way. What's this? Looks like a blinking eye. Don't know what that's supposed to do, but there's clearly some patterns on there. Did we go through a circle? I don't know. Yeah, we sure did. Okay. Let's go through this way this time. Not the dome. So clearly there must be a way to, like, stop it. Then again, it's showing the exact same pattern with a gold eye. Everywhere we have to stop it from. Look. I can't move. Oh, yep, another one of those warning towers. At this point, they're already spooked of me. They're already spooked about me, so I think I'm a servant of Gen. Okay. That's alright. It's fine. They can think what they want of me. Anyway. Let's, wait. Is this a... No, it's not. Okay, let's just keep going. Let's see. What is this place? That's like some sort of lab. Or throne? Interesting. That's stuck. Holy smokes. If it were in real life, I would be like having goosebumps all over me. Oh. So that shut that. And that opens it. Let me try shutting it one more time. There's gotta be a way to get to here, because I have a feeling this is gonna be important. Again, that was already forward, wasn't it? Let me check. Let me rewind back the footage, my YouTube footage. Hold on. Because this one was already forward, wasn't it? Let me see. When we went up. Let me see. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was equal. Yeah, so we have to shut it. We have to shut it. Okay. That makes some sense. Okay. And then the submarine is all the way over here, I think. So what we kind of have to do is, like, we'll have to ride around to get to this. We ride around until we get to this point, then we go up. I think that's how we have to do it. I mean, it's kind of strange that this is only for, like, one thing. They made something so elaborate for one thing. But hey, that's again for you. It has an interesting sense of interior decorating. That means there gotta be some sort of switch down below. I'm assuming this is for reopening, right? Again, I'm kind of wondering, more importantly, what are the blue switches for? So far we've got one for the monorail, one for the we got two for each way of the monorail, one inside the cave, one in here. I'm assuming the big thing's number 5. I did not expect a kid! I am so sorry. I did not expect a kid to come through here. What I'm wondering is how come none of the ladders work. At least it feels that way. Okay. I've already lowered that, so how do I get there again? It's been so long. Oh my goodness. Not so long, but like it's been like 24 hours, but still. Let me see. I think it's the other set of steps. Oh, not here. No, not here either. Because we've already been through the mine. Let's see. Was it? No, it wasn't. Turn around. Go down. I've done this part, so where am I supposed to go? There's like one moment where I came across one of those dome switches, those sound switches, somewhere around here. I don't know what path I used to get there, but I found it somewhere around here. Anyway, let's go to the left. Do I seriously need to, like, map out, like, every step that I make? Because clearly I'm not. I'm not doing very well at this. There's gotta be some sort of switch that I'm missing here. Oh. One thing I know for sure is that number 5 is magic and Riven. Oh! Everything's with the number 5. I told you. Everything's about the number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're moving. Everything's about the number 5 here. Okay. Let's see. What is this? Ooh, sorry. Let's put it on the big notches and let's see what happens. Okay, that resets it. Let's do it this way. What does that do? Ah. How about we just put everything to the other side? Sorry. Let me see. So we got numbers here. Some of them we don't know what they mean. Could the hint give us something? Let's see. Device by spinning domes do. Stop the domes from spinning. We figured that out. It's just 5 presses. And then device on top of the ladders. Submarine. So that's the submarine. You can't step on piers unless ladders have been extended from them. Some piers already have ladders extended, others don't. We had the 4 on the close position, which we did. Let's see. 5 switches. There's a school. Okay, these ones don't look familiar. Okay. Let's see. Okay, no clue for this area. Hello. How's it going? Yeah, oh my god. I did not expect that. Like, this kid just popping up in the middle of the hall. I was like, oh my god. Because I'm so used to walking through and then nothing happening until I show up at one of those tower areas and they just warning, like, hey, there's some stranger that just anonymously showed up at the very top. And I'm like, I kind of know what to expect. I was like, okay, I know y'all don't like me. You think I'm a servant of Gen. Okay. But then, like, a kid shows up and it's like, yeah, that was too funny. Okay. Should I reactivate the device and see what Let me see something. Where are you? It just takes one press to reactivate it, but then it takes 5 presses to deactivate it. Let's see. What did I do? I don't know what I did to deactivate the device, but somehow I did it. Took me 4 or 5 presses to like deactivate, but then 1 to like activate it again. Mm. Okay. Well, with it being frozen up top, that means there's got to be something down below that we're not catching. So let's try going underneath the dome. That tells me something. Hey! Yeah. I just finished class like almost an hour ago. So I'm a little bit but hey. That's life. Be like that sometimes. Okay. Okay, Scarab, where do you want me to go? There's a dagger over here for some... Oh! That's where I found the sound thing! That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I'm holding up okay. Just a little bit intense at school right now, but I'm managing. I am managing. Yeah, I didn't notice the dagger there until now. It's like that's where I went. Okay. Yeah. The senioritis is hitting so hard. Yes, even grad students can get senioritis. Peeps. Okay, so not much progress on that front, but let's see about going back to the mine and see what happens here. So it turns out there are light switches in this mine, and I have to turn them on somehow. I'm honestly more astounded with the fact that they literally made like a warp bubble around water. Like, that's cool. Without glass or any plastic, just a giant warp bubble. Like how? Thanks, my friend. I'm trying my best. Well, if it's any consolation, I did make some progress in terms of some of my research. I recently read about how the underground music scene in the Ukraine has been thriving pretty heavily. In particular when it comes to Ukrainian DJs. It's obvious that the conflict has changed people's... the conflict has changed people's musical tastes quite a bit. Because before, apparently, according to like Al Jazeera, which is where I got the article from, it used to be very foreign artist-centric, but now it's predominantly Ukrainian with maybe one or two American and maybe one Russian artist. For the most part, this is emphasizing national pride. So yeah, I found it very fascinating. I really I found it just really cool that stuff like that is happening, you know? Let me try something. Let's see. So now I got some like power coming through here. So let's see about switching this. Does it not mean to put back on the heat? Let's see. Let me try something. Did that bring something out to the ladder, or is that just me? Let me see. No, it did not. So how does this place work? This place is hard. Physics. Okay, so what I do know. Wait. I did see that before. Okay, this is where the submarine is. Now I remember. Now. It's just been... It feels like it's been forever since I played this, even though I played this just yesterday. Like, you know how, like, time feels like it's going forever? And it's just, like, the simple answer is, like, right... Oh, yeah, that's where we can't go up there. Like, you know, like, it feels like time is going on forever in some respects, and then, like, you don't realize that... Okay, it's only been, like, this short amount of time. Okay, let's see. So there's clearly some sort of water motor, I think, that's going through here. So it's going from the top to down in here to... In this... I'm assuming it's a sort of generator. Because I know if we connect the, excuse me. We connect this, it fills up with water. Wait a second! That did not fill with water. That instead raised up the platform. What? How did I... Okay. I feel ridiculous I didn't catch that, but okay. That was all I needed, apparently. So now, because the platform is raised, I should be able to get to that ladder in the middle. Yep. I got to the ladder in the middle, all because I raised the platform. What the heck? Where am I going? Where am I going? It's dark. It's... Oh my god. Where the heck is this? That was the scariest thing I'd ever come across. Okay, now we could probably open the door below me. But for right now, let's get in... You like it, Bob? Mm-hmm. Whatever this door is, like... So that means there was no way to unlock it, probably. Okay, here we go. Right here. So now we can get down from here, which is great. So at least I figured that out. No. Open. Abre la puerta. Okay. My elementary school Spanish. Don't fail me now. Okay. What the heck is this? It looks like a trap. What does this do? Let's try that, and then... There might be something missing. Let's see. Can we go back? Can we shut this door? Yeah, I grew up with... Believe it or not, I grew up with this series. Well, not necessarily this game, but, like... I grew up with Myst. In particular. I played this on the channel about... Last week? Okay. So clearly there's a heat source I need to get here. So I think we need to go back and get back to that generator. I think we need to turn it to... Let's see. I'll move my chat here. So we need to get to this pipe, I think. Get it up to... Cause I think this feeds into this generator here. So now that we've got a way up, an easier way up, much easier way up, we should be able to, in theory, get to where we need to go to. So let's see. That was so hilarious earlier, how I was like, where the heck is this? And now I'm like, oh, nothing. I'm just crawling through this random pipe. To a tower and a balcony. That's just too funny. Okay, let's see. Oh. Aha! So it goes down to wherever the heck that goes down to. And we bring it up, and it's... Survey says... The thing's still intact. Okay, what else am I missing here? The only other thing I think of is if we shut the top and then put it down. Kind of like a tea cozy. Ooh, Jumpstart Adventures! Oh my god, that threw me back so hard. I remember the one, like, there was one Jumpstart Adventure that was with, Frankie the dog, where, like, all his bones, like, he basically ate all of them from his vault. So he basically cleared out his vault, and then you had to, like, the whole game was for you to actually retrieve more bones for his vault. I never finished that. I think that was the third grade one, if I remember correctly. Mystery Mountain, that was good. Pajama Sam. I remember the Pajama Sam and Putt Putt games. And then the one I was definitely religious about that I eventually completed on my own was the Clue Finders. I was so proud when I managed to finish the Clue Finders, because that game is so... those games were tough. Like, they were hard. Believe it or not, those games were hard. But yeah, Clue Finders. Yeah, maybe the Frankie game was the first grade, but like I know, like at least here in the U.S., like they tended to cover like a range of ages, not just one grade. Because like in the case of the Jumpstart Adventures game that I played, it was it was first through third, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was first through third. Let me check something here. Yeah, it was first through third. It was first through third grade that game covered. Oh, we just dropped out through here. That's how we got here. Yeah, it was first through third grade, and then you chose which grade you were in. I was third grade when I played that version of Jumpstart. And then what else? And then I know, like, Clue Finders, they tend to have a pretty wide range. There was one where they got stuck in a jungle. That was first through third. And then there was another one where they got stuck in a crystal palace. That was fourth through sixth. And I found the jungle one much harder than the jungle one much harder than the crystal one. Yep. Oh my god. I never went past normal either. Oh man, because those games were hard with a capital H. But like when you beat them, you felt like you climbed Mount Everest. I think we had multiple languages in our case because obviously we didn't have just because we didn't have just English speaker like yeah, like you said earlier, we had Spanish speakers, but we didn't have just English and Spanish. We had let me see something. With that, do anything here? I wonder. Yeah, because I know, like, besides English and Spanish, there was also Polish, Russian, sometimes Chinese and Japanese. Yes, the Egyptian pyramid. That was the one I was trying to remember. That one was my That one was one of my favorites. And then there was one. Yeah, the pyramid one I finished so easily. The one that I had the hardest time with was the one Leslie and what's his name? Leslie and Santiago. Leslie and Santiago were stuck in an underwater cave that's walled off by gold. That's the only one I never finished. Other than that, I've pretty much finished every single one. And then there was one that I never got, but I always wanted to try, which had yeah, Rita Rabbit. I played those. And then there was, oh my goodness, what was it called? Yeah, there was like one where like it was Leslie and Santiago. They got stuck in an underground cavern with gold. The music was really, really good in that game. It was just really hard to figure out. And then, the one game that I absolutely had a blast in was, even though I was not very good at that subject, Math Blaster. Do you remember Math Blaster? Like Math and Reading Blaster. There's like the old school one, and then there's like the new. And then there was like the new school. There's like the new school one that, it had some racing components, and then there was I did not get into, like, once I was, by the time I got up to, by the time the new changes happened with Math Blaster, I was not of age for that. Like, I aged out of it. Yeah, I pretty much aged out of the demographic for Math Blaster. But for the most part, yeah, because they changed the designs for Blaster and GC. Like, dramatically changed the designs. Yeah, because Blaster, Galactic Commander, aka GC, she was my favorite character, and Spot the Blue Robot. Like, those are like the three most important characters in my life for a long time. And then there was Ike and Rita. Like, obviously they were supposed to be like some sort of they were obviously supposed to be like a parody of whatchamacallit? A parody of Lucy and Desi minus the drama. Because like they were like stereotypical like nighttime music hosts. Like, that's the vibe I got anyway. Man, at some point, like, I've been thinking about it, even though I'm super old for these games at this point. Like, I don't care. Like, I would love to, like, go back to, like, games that were, like, integral parts of our childhoods, and then finish it just for the sake of completion. Like, you know, like, just for that emotional satisfaction, you know? And I know I'm playing Riven, but at the same time, though, I'm so distracted because I'm stuck on this one puzzle. Oh my god! I know I've been fooling around with this generator for the past 5 minutes, but for this past maybe like 20 or 30 minutes, but I don't care. At least gives me more time to talk with you guys. Yeah, what was I saying? But yeah, like I would totally love to like play childhood games that we just we were just like we just had this void of never completing them, just for the sake of completing them. Even if we're too old for them, still give it a shot. See like how they hold up. Would we let our kids play them, etc. Like little things like that. Like I would love to do that. Like what do you guys think should I do that? Just let me know. Cause like that would be kind of fun to do. Like childhood games that we wanted to finish but we just never did back in the day. Yeah, especially Clue Finders for me. There's like 2 of them I never finished back in the day. Either because like I couldn't get past that one puzzle, or because I didn't have enough computer time to finish it. Yeah, I absolutely would be down for doing the Clue Finders. One game that I remember being super proud of finishing was called Interactive Math Journey. They only did one game with this character. I wish they did more of them, because like that game was surprisingly well done for a game back in the 90s. There's this character named Alley Cat, and then she's accompanied by a mouse. I forget what the mouse's name is, and there's this purple guy. You probably know what I'm talking about. There's this purple guy that like is trying to get you to guide you to the math magician. And then this is like the first time I ever came across that plot twist. You were the math magician all along. So like so it's like a spiral path, and then you play, and then as you go, and then you eventually get to the center of the path, and then you put on, and then all of a sudden a magician's hat pops on, then a cloak pops on. It's like, oh, plot twist, you were the math magician all along. Whee! It was kind of satisfying. But yeah, like you need emulators for this stuff, because like nowadays, like these computers just won't support it. But thankfully, there's quite a number of them. Oh, huh? We're trying to go under this time. That's funny. Okay. What was I saying? But yeah, like, thankfully, with a lot of these games, there's a lot of like designed emulators for modern computers, or in my case with a lot of these classic Mac games, some of these emulators you could actually do it with virtual online PCs that work pretty well. So I've been thinking about actually doing that for some of these games, because it's clear that we have a lot of I will never get used to it freezing and be like, possible servant again. Let's warn everybody off of this person. Anyway. Yeah, thankfully there's like a lot of the games I've been thinking about have virtual emulators. So it should be pretty easy to like to actually play these on stream. I still have them too, actually. I still have a lot of these CD-ROMs. Like, they're some of them are super scratched up, but they have good memories to them. They have really good memories. Yeah, if you have the CDs, that's even better, because if anything, if you want these to be emulated, it's a whole lot easier to do. A whole lot easier. I mean, that's practically how we've got things like Riven and even like the classic Myst games to be able to function on this thing, because people noticed how valuable these games are. and how people feel about them. So, of course, people would emulate these because people just like to play these games just for the heck of it, just for the memory of it. And these, believe it or not, technically this is an emulation. Like, these are emulated. This is an emulated game I'm currently playing right now. And, I mean, in a way, I feel like the emulation community is basically going to... the emulation community is basically going to save the gaming world. Because... without emulation, a lot of the old school SNES games would basically not exist for the, they basically would not exist for, the Nintendo Switch. Yes! Yes! It's a Star Academy! Yes! I remember that one. That if I remember correctly, you had some, like, you actually learned how to, like, launch rockets and learn about thrust and stuff. Or maybe I'm confusing it with, a different space game, which is called, Starship Academy, GX1. But I have heard of Star Academy. I have. And then, one game that I absolutely was too young for back in the day that I would have loved to get a modern update on. It's called, it's called, Strategy Games of the World. Strategy Games of the World. Like, that game obviously was meant for older kids. Like, it was meant for older people, but, like, it didn't matter. Like, when I beat a game, I felt proud of myself. I had the second collection of strategy games, the one with, it was collection 2. It was 3 games in particular. There was the one where, like, you had to, like, do that. It was like that circular pattern kind of game. Then there was one. It was Jungle Chess. I remember there was Jungle Chess, and then there was. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it was a music game. That's right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't play it myself, but I used to watch my cousins play it. Let me see. But yeah, there were strategy games. There were 2 collections of it. There was one that had Mancala, Go, and 9 Men Morris. That last one's really hard to find, like, nowadays, but it was like that was where you could find it. And then I had collection 2, which is more jungle themed. One was Jungle Chess. One was an Indonesian game. I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called, but it was like a pattern-based one. And then I cannot for the life of me remember the third one. Oh shoot, I did not mean to go I did not mean to go left. Oh man. What is wrong with me? Let's flip around. Hold on. This is what I got for being distracted. But hey, this is like throwing back some good memories, you know? So I like to keep it going. But yeah, it was like this. I know, like, it was Jungle Chess. It was like this Indonesian sounding game that I think it's called Sinacarta? Something Carta. Yeah, Sinacarta. I think that was the one where it was kind of like it's kind of like an Indonesian version of Suro, but a little bit different. Yeah, it's like an Indonesian version of Suro. And then, yeah, jungle chess. I remember there's like terms of capture where the goal was to get your piece in the goal, like you get your 9 piece in the goal, or get it captured by 2 animals. Because I remember the terms were lychee and toichi. If you got like your animals trapped in a certain way on the board. Oh my goodness. If I can remember what the 3 games were, that would be such a great thing. But yeah, anyway, if I could emulate any game, it would be those 2 games. Strategy games of the world. That's what they're called. There's 2 collections. Like, there was something about 90s games in particular where they loved doing those collections. Another one was this series called Thinkin' Things. There was Collection 1, Collection 2, and Collection 3. And I had all 3 of them. And then there was one game, which was, again, super advanced for a little kid. But there was one called Zap, where you basically had... like, scientists who also happened to have a band, and they each specialized in 3 different types of science. The lead singer, Serge, specialized in electrical circuits. The guitarist, I forget what I think it's Buzz. He specialized in sound, and then I forget who the woman was, but she specialized in light and reflectiveness. So you get to do these different experiments based on each of their specialties, and it was really cool. Yeah, like, there's so many childhood games that I wish I could just emulate. Like, if I knew how to do emulation, I would very gladly like maybe even remaster some of these old games, because, like, unfortunately, a lot of these games that we've mentioned, they just don't have support right now. Like, I would love to recreate a lot of these. Like, even better if we could, like, make, like... Wait a second, I did not see this one? And that's our last one. That's number 5. Sounds like a creaky door. Okay, so I think I got all the switches now. But yeah, what was I saying? But yeah, I would love to try Star Academy because of what you talked about. So, like, I've watched it, but I've never actually played it. Part of it is also compatibility. Like, I mean, thankfully, back in the day, like, Mac was actually more well known for their gaming, so there were way more options. Like, I know the biggest one back in the day, hands down, for, yeah, obviously Clue Finders. I think there are a few, online emulations of Clue Finders, actually. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, what was I saying? But yeah, like... Oh man, XP was the beast when it came to gaming. Absolutely. Oh my god. XP was the beast. But yeah, even Mac back in the day was more well known for their gaming. So that's why, like, a lot of the modern Macs kind of did like a hard left and focus more on Office applications, which honestly is a shame because their gaming back in the day was actually pretty good. But yeah, just to give you an idea, like, the first half of the OG Tomb Raider series, not the one with Crystal Dynamics you probably know of, which is Tomb Raider Anniversary, Legend, and Underworld. This is like before this, like the OG core design Tomb Raider games, like those ones back in the day, like those old school ones. You could play the first 6. Most famously, Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider 3 on Mac. I played Dagger of Xian in Comp USA back when it was originally coming out on a Mac. It's an old school computer store, kind of equivalent to Circuit City. I am feeling very ancient just talking about this, but like my first exposure to Tomb Raider, there was the first game on the PS1, but then my main exposure was Tomb Raider 2 on a Mac with like a really huge, almost 8-pound monitor. Oh my goodness, I just feel old just thinking about it, but hey. Like, these are valuable memories I am going to hang on to until the day I go. And if there's a computer afterlife, hey. I am playing everything that I can. Is there something I need to look up to that I'm not seeing? Because this is rounded. Yep, we're getting up there, y'all. I mean, just to give you an idea, we know what the floppy disks on we know what the floppy disks on the computers actually mean. That's how old we are. That's how old we are. We're pretty much like the last people that know what those floppy disks on our computers actually mean. Like, it really hit me when I think I came across a TikTok meme or something, or some comment online. Yeah, like more or less kind of like that, but like somebody like a Gen X or not a Gen X, but like a Gen Z or a Gen Alpha kid came across a floppy disk, and they asked if it was a 3D print. It was a 3D print job. Meanwhile, I remember back when I was a child. I think because like technology has changed so rapidly during our adolescence, we have so much knowledge that if it were any other time period, it would have died. Landlines, I think some of them know what landlines are, thankfully. Like, landlines, I think those ones have not gone to the dinosaurs. At least not yet. But I think some of the stuff that we went through because of landlines, now that one's going to be a foreign concept. Yeah, I think like Europe has done a lot better when it comes to preserving. Europe has gotten a lot better when it comes to preserving landlines and especially payphones. Oh my goodness! They're basically. Yeah, our stuff's already being called vintage now. Can you believe it? Our stuff is called vintage. Vintage! But yeah, oh my god, payphones? When I traveled to Europe for the first time... Oh man, they saved my life. Like, the last payphones were moved out of New York, like... Let me try something. 3, 4... Okay, I had to try something. But yeah, like... I know! that's the part that hit me when I was like, I realized that I was old. That I was old when 20 years ago no longer meant the 2000s. 20 years ago, sorry, the 90s. 20 years ago now means the 2000s. That's when it really hit me that, like, I'm getting up there. Or, like, there's another TikTok meme that I came across. Okay, I just need your ID for the wine. And then she shows the ID and it's like, oh, don't worry. Like, don't worry, I saw the one, and it said the one, and then she says the one. It's like, oh, the one on your birth year, and then that's when you realize the peeps born in 2000, 2001, they're drinking age. They're drinking age. That's when it hit me. They are drinking age. Oh my god. Yeah, that one hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I saw the one next to your birthday. You're fine. I'm like, I mean, the one thing I can kind of pat myself in the back a little bit is in a lot of places, even though, like, I'm well past the age of getting carded, I still get carded. So at least, like, I know I'm taking care of myself. Yeah, I think, like, the day that it really hit me that, like, oh yeah, I'm up there now. The fact that, like, so many of my people, like, so many of, like, my younger peers are either getting married or having kids. Sometimes both. Like, in my case, I went to a friend's wedding. A friend's courthouse wedding. For a weekend. And oh man, it really hit me that, like, because they're expecting a kid. They've been wanting excuse me. They've been wanting to get married for quite some time. They decided to go with the court wedding, and it just hit me like, oh my good lord. Like before, people, like, most of the people who were getting married were, like, 3 to 5 years older than me. So I felt like there was a bit of a buffer, like, hey, I still got time. Now I'm seeing people get married, and it's, like, hitting me like, my god, I'm in the demographic now. I'm not gonna be able to avoid this. Like, that stage of people like having, like, wedding fever and stuff, or the anxiety of, like, how am I gonna afford all these weddings? That's me now. Like, like, no, I did not think it was going to be me, but no, it is. Like, now it's hitting me. Like, I gave him my first, like, genuine, like, wedding present, like, on my own, solitary, ever, like, this year. Oh my goodness. Like, it wasn't until then that it finally hit me, like, bruh, I'm getting up there. And it takes like 40 and 50-year-olds to remind me, like, okay, 30 is still young in the grand scheme of things. And I think it's because a lot of organizational youth ministries now, they're starting to they're starting to raise the age when it comes to their youth ministries. So before excuse me. Before, a lot of the time, before, a lot of the time these organizational youth ministries they often have their cutoffs at like 18, maybe 21. They're being generous, but nowadays they're doing the classic 18 to 35 demographic, because they're starting to realize more and more that like a lot of 30-year-olds don't feel like adults, which, hey, I don't blame them. Honestly, I don't. Because there are so many times where I feel like, and I think it also like brings respect to like people that would prefer to not go that dating, marriage, kids route, or / and I think also I think what I like about that expansion is that it thoroughly realizes that like, especially with our generation, like with my generation, and then to some extent Gen Z's generation. Sorry. To some extent, like definitely for my generation, but to some extent, like Gen Z and the Gen Z generation, we're not going to be able to, like, there's some people that just don't hit those trappings or Zillennials. Yeah, exactly. Millennials. There are some of us that are just not going to hit those milestones in the traditional sense compared to like Gen X and Boomers. So I think that's why they decided to expand the age to like 18 to 35, because in a lot of ways that's where our biggest market tends to lie, between 18 and 35. Where people tend to have the most marketing and also consuming potential, if we're going capitalist mindset for a second here. And then I think also people are more starting to realize that like people more or less are starting their lives. I think I might have figured out what that marble's for, actually. I have to go back to that mine. I know this is a long playthrough. I apologize. I did not expect to go this long, but hey. That's what happens when you get me in a nostalgia train and a little bit of theoretical stuff. But yeah, so people are kind of... I think because the reason why youth ministries are starting to expand a bit more is because like... life. Yes, life. But yeah, I think I started to realize more and more is because like people are starting their lives much later than what a lot of these milestones are calling us to do. Like most of us are starting our lives in our 30s instead of our 20s. The 20s we spend more time exploring, which I think we should support more, because granted, at least here in the US, we are considered adults at 18, but we're still figuring stuff out at that point. 20s, we're still figuring stuff out, but this time on our own. So then by the time we get to 30, 35, we should be more confident as to where we're actually going. It's like, that's when our true, like, I think, in my opinion, that's where true adulthood really begins, is at, like, your early mid-30s. Like, I think that's where your true adulthood begins. Because, like, up until you get to that point, you have absolutely no, like, I mean, not that you're going to have any more of a clue once you hit your 30s, but, like, you don't feel like as if like you're like you're scrambling for answers as much. Like, you're trusting more. You feel a bit more comfortable with the unknown at that point. Where was I going? Oh yeah, the mine. I remember now. It was the mine. Because there was something about the marbles in there that I was thinking of grabbing. But yeah, long story short, we're starting our lives later. And I think people are starting to become more supportive of that. So, because, like, 30, 35, you feel like it's like you're starting to get some distance from that chaos in your 20s, but you don't exactly have that solidity of, like, near your 30s just yet. You're very close, but you're just not there. If that makes any sense. I'm talking out of my own butt, like, talking out of my own back of my head, like, as if I know what I'm talking about. I don't, but it feels like you're, by the time you get to, like, your 35, 40, there's some sense of, like, is resignation the right word? Because that's, like, the only word I'm able to come up with at the moment. Yes, yes, getting it somewhat organized. It's the best way that's the best way you could put it. Yeah, it's like you've got some things together. You're not all, like, I mean, there's no way you can get all the way there, but, like, you're way closer than you were in, like, your late 20s, early 30s. Like, you like, the one thing I can say about being 30, the one thing I can say about being 30 is that you're much more sure about what you want. And you can kind of articulate it. Like, that's the one thing I can say about being 30. Like, you start being a little bit sure about what you want. I mean, granted, like, especially if, like, you're a late bloomer, which I think it's becoming much more common, I think. Come on. Can't I pull this thing? Come on. Yeah, and I think late bloomers are becoming more common nowadays, because depending on, like, your upbringing as well, that's a big part. You might be exploring certain things much, much later. So, I think nowadays, like, they're giving, like, I think, like, being in your 30s nowadays is given more permission to be in that late bloomer stage and see what it is that's out there. Now that you're more sure, you're starting to be more sure about the things that you want, but then you still have some of that open-mindedness of youth that you can play around a little bit. But I think because we've been around the sun quite a number of times now, there is a little bit of that. There is a bit more hesitation than you did compared to when you were in your teens and your 20s. Yeah, we are breaking family curses. That is one thing I could say. That's the other part. We did not ask for this job. It just happened to be that way. We basically are the generation that is breaking family curses. And I forgot I had to turn the handle. Okay. But yeah, we're basically breaking family curses here. Hi! Let me see what your name is. Spiper! Oh, God. Yeah. I think that's why stories like, Encanto. Oh, holy snap! Hello, Froggy. That was hilarious. Oh my God, that was so funny. Probably. Oh my God. frog sound came from. It was a frog, so that's where that sound came from. Oh my god. Oh man. Can I go further back? I'll go forward and back. Okay. I think that was just a clue for just sound puzzle clue. That just threw me off of what I was about to say next, but but yeah. Long story short is, if you happen to be in your 30s, but I think it even applies. Oh yeah, Encanto. I remember now. Yeah, Encanto. I think that's why that movie was so important to a lot of, like, millennials and Gen Z people. Because that is a lesson, a huge, huge lesson on breaking generational curses right there. Because that stuff's real. That stuff is so real. But yeah, long story short, if you're in your 30s and even if you're 40s, or like, let's face it, we are starting over our lives much later nowadays. Know that you still got a chance. You still got a chance to live the life that you want to live. You still got a chance to try out things. Yeah, literally entire context cases, absolutely. You still got a chance to try out things. You guys still got a chance to explore things. You still have a chance to live the life you love, love who you want to love. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic love, as like the aromantic community and some religious communities could state, because in Greek vocabulary, or like Greek debate culture, what do I say? Like, in just overall in Greek debate culture, like there's 5 types of love. Some of them are like pretty obvious, but then there are other ones where they're like they make sense. There's like 2 kinds in particular that back when I was younger I didn't 100% get, but nowadays I absolutely do. There's storge, which is love out of practicality. Like, they do things for you that, yeah, you could do on your own, but it's way better the fact that you could do stuff with somebody that has your back. Like, the fact that somebody has your back on it. But I think the most powerful love of all, that I think applies to everyone, not just romance, but I think even a romantic experience, there's just that, I think the Greeks had the vocabulary for it, which is storge. Not storge, Philae, that's what it is. Philae, which, funnily enough, it's also the name of the city where the Isis temple is currently occupying in Egypt. But anyway, Philae, it's about loyalty and dedication. It's that love, they say, that, like, if anything happened, you would give your life for this person. Like, you would be there for them through thick and thin, because they are that significant to you. Not fillets, Philae. Yeah. But yeah. I think that's philia. It's the one kind of, I think philia as well as agape. I think those are the two kinds of love that everybody can experience. Agape means universal love, like the love of life, the love of beings, like the love of just being in this existence, in this universe. That's endless, unconditional. I think everybody can experience that. The other one I think is philia, which is about loyalty, integrity, dedication. You've got that person's back through thick and thin. But yeah. So, those people who think it's too late, it's not. You've got time to live the life that you want to lead. Now, on that note, I think I'm going to save it here. I know I've been here for a while, so... A frog ate my marble. Part 3. Let's have a little bit of fun with these. Yeah. Having fun with these save files, clearly. But next time on Riven, we'll try to make some more proper progress. Maybe one without like a long social diatribe. But, just kidding. That's my usual thing. I miss doing that. Like, I miss being able to like talk about stuff like this while playing games at the same time. Because most of the games I have been playing in the past or playing recently don't really give me the space to do that. So it's kind of nice to be able to do it now with you all. That I've been thinking about this stuff so much. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, maybe I'll do it for tomorrow, but the publish pretty good. It's going to be on Thursday and Friday where I do part 4 and 5. Chill stream on Sunday. Sneaky Sasquatch Saturday, maybe. Especially then again, there was some really interesting drama that happened the last time I opened up Sneaky Sasquatch, so it would be fun to do it again. And other games I've been thinking of doing. So after Riven's done, which might be a little while, I told you it was not going to be as fast as Myst, where I finished that in 3 parts. This one, it would take me a little bit. After Riven's done, the next game I'm going to do is Exile. And then I might also start a second game called Projection, which is based off of Thai shadow puppets. And then after I finish Exile, I will start what people say is the true successor to Myst, which is, well, not successor per se, but like, well, yeah, successor, like, of like the Myst Empire, which is Kern Undying Thoughts. And then I've been wanting to do some console gaming, so I think Kingdom Hearts 2 might be my first like full-fledged proper playthrough with you all. So that would be kind of fun. Anyway, as you can see, my wonderful friend Yo tuned in with their commentary. You can also help them through this time through their GoFundMe page. Link is up here as well as in the description of my YouTube channel. Every little penny helps. Nerds who work together win together. That's my philosophy. Anyway, here's my social media. In case you're wondering, what do I do outside this channel? I post on TikTok sometimes. If you want to see like all the previous playthroughs that I've done, go on to DJ MK Off the Air. And then I have a video that I am going to start filming tomorrow, starting production tomorrow, for my second channel, Theological Otaku, which it should be uploaded by mid-May, end of May. And then, yeah, just all the other stuff, just feel free to check it out. Finally, this episode was filmed in the lands of the Lenape and the Nanticoke. To learn more, visit native-land.ca. And I know I've been talking about this page quite a bit, so how about I show you what it actually what it actually looks like. So here is the actual site itself. You are welcome. But yeah, so here is the map, native-land.ca. I've been talking about it quite a bit. So it's a collective project where people talk about various indigenous lands. Of course, depending on which country you come from, indigenous lands kind of have a definition. Like with North and South America, and definitely Australia, they have a very definitive definition of indigenous. Europe is a little bit more complicated, as well as Africa, because Africans, at least like from personal experience, we call ourselves more ethnic groups, even though by traditional definition we would be considered indigenous as well in some respects. But yeah, it's a little complicated when it comes to anywhere outside of like the Americas, and Australia and New Zealand, aka Te Aotearoa. So yeah, so if you want me to, so in case you're wondering how I figured out where, like, what tribes cover my land, I partially figured it out through attending powwows, but then also I was taught this a little bit at school, which more needs to be taught at school. But then also my home state is a huge part of it is part of Lenape Hoking, aka the Lenni Lenape territory, which goes from my home state all the way up to New York City. Pretty far up. And then the southern portion it's a mix of the Pocomoke and the Nanticoke nations. So that's a bit more southern, closer to Virginia and Maryland. So in case you were wondering where I got all the information from, I used that. And you can also put in, like, if you put in, like, your address, your country, your zip code, anything like that, you should be able to find that information yourself. There's also there's a cell phone line, if I remember correctly, that does that exact same information, where you text in, like, your zip code, boom, it tells you what indigenous lands there are. So, yeah. Next stream, if you happen to be there, or maybe even like this video on YouTube, if you happen to come across that, comment down below. If you happen to reach this far in the video, what indigenous land are you currently living in? And if you happen to be indigenous yourself, what ethnic group or tribe are you from? So feel free to comment down below. But until then, thank you so much for watching this stream. This was a lot of fun. I hope to do some more in the next part. Till then, though, stay safe out there. Make sure to set aside some time for fun. It is very, very important for your happiness. And, of course, in the wonderful words of Master Yen Sid, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye! And for those who are curious about what's coming up, feel free to check out my chat right here. You could even watch this video again. Take care, everybody.